I'm Jim Gardner on Action News at 6 o'clock tonight. A grand jury in Camden goes over a mountain of documents as it probes the murder of a rabbi's wife. The full story and a live report tonight only on Action News at 6. Now here are Mark Howard and Lisa Thomas-Lord.
We now know the identities of 9 crewmen on board a McGuire Air Force Base cargo jet missing over the Atlantic. 2 of the nation's most popular diet drugs are being recalled tonight, and patients are being urged to call their doctors. Anita Brickman has details in a special health check report.
A possible scandal involving the new Miss America and a live Eagles-Dallas Monday Night Football preview. All coming up on Action News next.
You're watching 6ABC, the Delaware Valley's most watched station.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Scott Palmer, Dave Roberts, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and Mark Howard.
Good evening. In the news tonight, striking lay teachers in the Camden Diocese get unexpected support on the picket line.
And protesters demonstrate outside a dilapidated hotel, which they're calling home, in Delaware. But the big story on Action News tonight, 2 major diet drugs off the market. All this comes after new data links them with potentially deadly heart problems. The drugs are Redux, also known as dexfenfluramine, and Pondimin, or fenfluramine. Now, millions around the world have turned to these drugs, hoping to lose weight. Wyeth Erst of St. David's makes Pondimin and distributes Redux. The pharmaceutical name for Redux is dexfenfluramine. Pondimin is fenfluramine, a chemical cousin to Redux. Pondimin's half of that prescription called fen-phen. You've probably heard of it. To put it very simply, if you're taking any of these drugs, stop now, contact your doctor, and listen to health reporter Anita Brickman, who will explain all of this to us.
Exactly, Mark. Now, these drugs have actually been under scrutiny since July, when the heart problems first surfaced at the Mayo Clinic. Doctors everywhere immediately began reevaluating their patients, and some were stunned by what they found.
At 33% of our patients, and granted it is a small number of patients, we looked at 21 patients, had significant heart valve disease.
University of Pennsylvania cardiologist Frank Silvestri said none of his patients had symptoms, but echocardiograms like this showed leaky heart valves. On the right, the red shows blood flowing back into the heart chambers. It's the kind of problem which forced Nancy Booker of Bucks County to have heart surgery last year and left her tied to medications for the rest of her life. Wyeth Erst Pharmaceuticals says such stories have frankly taken them by surprise. Dr. Mark Deach says no heart valve leakage showed up in the testing of Redux or Pondimin.
Both of these products have been available in markets throughout the world, 65 different countries for as much as 30 years. These drugs have been used, they've been very well studied, and this is the first time this kind of information from asymptomatic patients has come to light.
These medications are used generally short-term in Europe, and therefore it's been the long-term use we've seen in America, where people have been on it for a year or more, that we've seen these problems develop.
Penn obesity specialist Dr. Tom Wadden says the recall takes 2 major weapons out of a doctor's hands.
Everybody thought this was a breakthrough in the treatment of obesity, and now this breakthrough has turned into a potentially a public health crisis, and I suspect we'll remember this as the fen-phen fiasco.
Now, what the doctors at Penn found was also seen at several other medical centers around the country. A third of patients, most taking fen-phen, had the abnormal heart readings. Now, the FDA brought all of this to Wyeth Erst's attention on Friday afternoon. By this morning, the company had already announced it was pulling both the drugs. Again, talk to your doctor if you are on Redux or fen-phen.
And of course, it is good advice to talk to your doctor, but let us clarify which drugs are off the market.
Exactly. Now, Redux is dexfenfluramine. That's off the market. So is Pondimin. This is fenfluramine. This is half of fen-phen. Phentermine, part of that duo, is still available. But for a long time, doctors have been prescribing them together, even though the FDA never recommended it. The company that makes part of it never recommended it. But this off-label use became very popular, and right now there are 300,000 outstanding prescriptions for fen-phen. And they're just saying
the risk is not worth it, Frank.
That is obviously the case.
And we can't emphasize enough to call your physician.
Thank you,
All right,
Lisa.
thank you, Anita. In other news, the latest now in a pair of military crashes over the weekend, one of them with ties to McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. Rescue crews off the coast of Angola have located wreckage believed to be that of a German plane that apparently collided with an Air Force C-141 cargo plane based at McGuire Air Force Base. 9 American servicemen were on board. Now, this is video from Namibia in southern Africa, where these rescue crews were preparing to search for survivors. The German plane was carrying 24 people. Authorities in Cape Town say a fishing vessel has found wreckage, but no survivors at the site where the planes are believed to have collided and plummeted into the ocean. Let's turn now to New Jersey correspondent Norma Mushanek. She's live outside McGuire Air Force Base with the identities of the missing crewmen. Norma?
Lisa, as you say, no one has heard from that missing plane since Saturday when it is presumed to have crashed with that German aircraft. And the only hope right now, it seems to be some emergency signals that are being picked up out in the Atlantic.
Out there that there are signals that are out there. The question again, what are the source of those?
The commander of the 305th Air Mobility Wing says searchers have apparently picked up some kind of emergency beacons in the Atlantic off the coast of Africa where the McGuire C-141 disappeared. Those locator transmitters go off on the plane upon impact and are also in the survival kits and life rafts aboard the big aircraft. But exactly where they are coming from is yet to be determined. Planes and ships from the U.S., France, Germany, and South Africa are now mounting an intensive search effort, but so far with no results. Meanwhile, the families of the crew have all been notified. This afternoon, a private prayer service was held at the base chapel for personnel and the families.
I think it just gives them an opportunity to remember those folks that are out there still missing. And at the same time, I'm sure that it's a good thing for us to do for the family.
The 9-member crew has been identified as Flight Commander Captain Peter Vallejo, pilots Captain Gregory Sindrich and Captain Jason Ramsey, Flight Engineer Staff Sergeant Robert Evans, Staff Sergeant Scott Roberts, and Senior Airman Gary Bucknam, Loadmaster Staff Sergeant Stacy Bryant and Airman Justin Drager, and Crew Chief Senior Airman Frankie Walker.
When something like this happens, we feel for the families and for the folks that something may have happened to. Everybody feels it.
It doesn't look good, but you never want to give up hope. Until they come back and say that they're sure there's no survivors, you always have that little bit of hope that your friend will be out there and they'll go get him.
Now, hopefully, that multinational rescue team will be able to find the source of the transmitter signals, and perhaps some of the McGuire, perhaps all of the McGuire folks will be found. The Air Base, meanwhile, has activated a crisis action team to handle the media, the families, and any new information that may be coming in. For now, I'm Nora Mushanek reporting live in the Action Cam from McGuire Air Force Base.
Thanks, Nora. Meantime, America's fleet of stealth fighters is grounded tonight as investigators try to figure out why one of those $45 million jets crashed yesterday. It happened at an air show near Baltimore. A showgoer taped the F-117 as it suddenly loses a piece of wing. Look at that. Pilot ejected safely from the crippled fighter, and the pilotless jet tumbled into a neighborhood, setting 2 houses on fire. 6 people on the ground suffered, fortunately, only minor injuries. The radar-eluding jets have a history of puzzling crashes, and officials say the fleet of 53 stealth fighters is temporarily grounded in New Mexico and will be re-evaluated for safety.
All right, Mark, you know what tonight is. Tonight is a big night for Eagles fans. It's the showdown, of course, with the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Guess who's in the Big D to bring us all the pre- and post-game highlights? That's right, Scott Palmer joining us live from Dallas with the latest on preparations for tonight's game. I see you in your short sleeves, Scotty. It must be real hot in Dallas.
Yeah, it's still summer here in Dallas, Lisa. You can perhaps see behind me there's a tarp still on the field at Texas Stadium. That's because they're expecting thunderstorms, and that can happen when temperatures are in the mid-90s and the heat index is over 100, as is the case today. Ty Detmer, though, should be used to that kind of weather, as this is a homecoming for the Eagles quarterback. Ty grew up here in Texas, and he certainly enjoyed what happened the last time the Eagles played here at Texas Stadium as they pulled off the big upset. But he grew up as an avid Cowboys fan.
You know, I think people down here, they love the Cowboys, and, you know, as a kid, you follow the Cowboys, pay attention to what they're doing, and, you know, you're always rooting for them down here.
Ty remained a Cowboys fan until the day the Cowboys fired the man with the hat, Tom Landry. Back live again now at Texas Stadium. Jack Brayboy spent the day sampling the opinions of the native Dallas Texans about the Cowboys, and Jack found out they're treated more now like outlaws than cowboys.
They like things big down here in Dallas, and that includes big wins in football games like tonight's against the Eagles.
They're going to win.
Just don't like those Eagles.
No, I do, but they're going to win.
If their defense holds them, I think that they'll prevail.
Hopefully they'll win it. I'm not sure the score, but I feel they will win it.
Well, when you're down here in Big D, one has to wonder, has all the turmoil surrounding their favorite football team taken some of the luster off of that Cowboys star? Michael Irvin's sex scandal, Barry Switzer's gun ordeal. Have Cowboys fans had enough?
Some of the bad things that have gone on and stuff like that, it's not the same anymore.
As long as they stick with football, they're okay. That's what I look for them to do. I don't care anything about their personal lives.
Kids look up to them, and they try to be that way, and things are getting pretty bad in Dallas now.
But what about these guys? They are Dallas fans from South Jersey. There's really something wrong with this picture being from South Jersey.
What can I say? I got to put it on. Got to fit in down here.
That's why we came down here, so we wouldn't have to hear about all this Eagles stuff.
Now this is a little more like it.
Birds are going to take them, no problem.
31-21 Eagles win tonight.
We beat the Packers last week, beat the Cowboys this week. So we came down here to say a win.
Think you're going to go home successful?
I hope so, definitely.
The fans here in Dallas are in a foul mood anyway. Their 11th-ranked Texas Longhorns were shocked over the weekend by UCLA 66-3. This is the Cowboys home opener, and the fans here tonight will definitely be looking for something to cheer for. Back again with more live reports at 5:30 and 6. I'm Scott Palmer, Channel 6 Action News, live with the Eagles at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas.
All right, Scotty, thank you. And of course, you can see the Eagles-Cowboys Monday night matchup tonight at 9 here on 6 ABC. It'll be followed by a complete post-game wrap-up on Action News after the game.
Up next tonight, a teacher strike prompts students at one local Catholic high school to make a bold move. Dave?
Plenty of sunshine today, a pleasant breeze out here tonight. How long does this fine weather pattern last? We'll check out the AccuWeather forecast. Mark and Lisa?
All right, Dave, let's take a look live now from Sky 6, I-95 northbound at Cotman Avenue. Quite a heavy volume there. You can see people steadily moving along, but the volume is heavy. And we'll have another traffic update a little bit later in the newscast.
And coming up at 5:30 on Action News, police step up their investigation into the murder of a realtor who was killed while showing a house.
Also at 5:30, officials move quickly to dispel talk of a tainted Miss America pageant. We'll have all of that and much more coming up when Action News comes right back.
What's so special about the public schools in Bucks and Montgomery counties?
It's where I learned to get along with all different kinds of people.
It's where I play sports and act in the school play.
It's where really great teachers prepare us for college or a job.
It's where I go to vote and take night courses.
And it's the Bucks and Montgomery County public schools that attract homebuyers to our community.
The public schools of Bucks and Montgomery counties, where public education builds communities.
Throughout history, the shield has meant protection, safety, and security. Its job, to prevent harm from coming to each mighty warrior, to each brave soldier. But today, there is a shield that protects the entire family. Here comes the Sloman Shield, the home security system we install free when you call 1-800-ALARM-ME. In battling crime, nothing stops intruders better than this shield, the Sloman Shield, and it's free, our guarantee.
Shield your home, the Sloman Shield. Shop right and always save.
Did our research just like everybody and fell in love with ShopRite. I go 3 times a week. Always save money at ShopRite. Always.
This week at ShopRite, USDA Choice Center Cut rib steaks are just $3.99 a pound. California Thompson or Red Seedless grapes just 99 cents a pound. And Florida's Natural Growers Pride orange juice half price, $1.39.
Let's start with the facts. During our 97 clearance sale, you can get the best price ever on the Hyundai Accent. The Accent starts at just $7,599. The Accent has more power than Geo Metro or Ford Aspire, more room inside than Tercel, plus a better warranty package than Ford, Chevrolet, or Toyota. And with all those advantages, the fact is the Accent costs over $2,000 less than Tercel. Those are the facts. And the only way to check them out is with a test drive. Driving is believing, so get the facts and the best price ever during our 97 clearance sale.
As striking teachers in the Camden Diocese sat down for talks today, students affected by the labor dispute chose a very public display to throw their support behind the teachers.